why professional credentials are important for those in the Army involved in a supply chain management career field. That could be a logistician, a supply officer, a maintenance officer, an ammunition officer, enlisted officer, both sides. All those involved in the supply chain can benefit from having a professional credential in many different ways, which we are going to go over throughout this presentation this evening. My name is Randy Malden. I spent 20 years in the Marine Corps, and when I transitioned out of the service, one of the most difficult things I had to do was explain what my experience was in the service and how it applied to the civilian world, how did it apply to the civilian industry. Yes, I had lots of experience, and we hear that when we're going into the service and when we're coming out. Hey, you have these intangible assets, leadership, experience. But if we cannot translate that leadership and experience into something that a business person finds valuable, then we tend to struggle. We struggle with expectations of what we can do. And if you were like me, then, or you are like me, or like I was, like, just train me, give me an opportunity, and I can make something happen for us. So we want to be involved. And the one way to do that and to demonstrate what we can do is to provide people that credential, that CPSM certification credential. That's in supply management. Now, what is credentialing? What that is that's when we go through a process to demonstrate our skills, an evaluation that demonstrates we have met a standard set by authority, some type of authority, an organization that is known for authority in that specific career field. Okay, in the supply chain career field, we have the Institute for Supply Management, Apex, and a few others that are out there that are credentialing agencies. And I found that the CPSM certification was the best one that demonstrated everything that I could do. And I'm going to share with you why that's important and how we, in our career experiences, military experiences, we can see that as well. And it's official recognition that is from an authoritative organization. Now, why do they matter? In the service, it demonstrates your willingness to go that extra effort. You've gone through the military training, you've achieved your MOS, your military occupational specialty, you're gaining experience, but how do you stay at the top of your field? One way to do that is by looking to the civilian world and looking at their credentialing standards and going for their standards. The Army offers points for promotion for those in the enlisted career field for promotion when you earn different credentials. So you gain points for your promotion. So it benefits you there. When you transition into the workforce, it makes a big difference because they immediately understand what you can do. You said, I spent 4 years in the service. Now I'm transitioning into the civilian world. My career was an ammo tech where I did certain things. They'll say, well, I don't really understand what that means. Well, I have the CPSM certification, right? The Certified Professional Supply Management. Oh, I've heard of that. Tell me more. And then you can relate your experiences to that credential, and they'll start to understand how it fits together. And you won't have to spend so much time translating what you did as an ammo tech or what you did as a supply sergeant or what you've done as a logistician. Now, because they understand what supply chain management is, they know what the Institute for Supply Management is. They say you met that standard. That gives you credibility right off the bat, and it proves that you are certifiable in a career field. What are the benefits to the military? As I mentioned before, it elevates your skill set to a higher level than what you were taught in the military. It gives you a perspective on how to work with civilian career fields. And imagine, especially in the supply chain career field, we work with civilians all the time through logistician, working with truckers, ordering stuff from other suppliers that are out there. We work with them all the time. So having their language and understanding their language enables us to communicate more effectively to get what we need in the military. And the military sees the benefit for that. This is a way they're going to help us, or those in the military active duty currently, show their expertise and continue to build their success. Gives them more professional development opportunities, validates their professional knowledge, and demonstrates their skills that they've gained through experience, technical education, and other training. Okay. So the benefits to you, as I mentioned before, you earn promotion points for your promotion, and then it helps smooth your transition into the civilian career field. Here's some examples of career fields where you earn promotion points. Okay. If you go to Army Cool, you can actually go ahead and put in CPSM, pull that up, and it'll give you the specific career fields that you need to take a look at to get the points that you need for promotion. And why not? You're going to spend the time doing something. Why not get a little bit extra to benefit you right now, as well as benefit you later when you transition out of the service? And there's some more examples here. So, why get certified in the career of supply chain management? Well, what exactly is supply chain management? The right stuff in the right place at the right time, the right quantity, and the right quality. Everything we do to make that happen, that is supply chain management. Procurement, buying stuff, sourcing, researching different sources of material, logistics, warehousing. All of these are elements and functions within the supply chain. So having the certification makes you eligible in all these career fields for more opportunity. But some people think it's a bunch of paperwork. It's just a bunch of paperwork, but not really. There's a lot more to it. A lot more to it. As you can see here, Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX, he realizes supply chain is the tricky stuff. This is what stops organizations from being profitable. Just like in the military, if we are unable to resource an operation, that operation does not move forward, right? So you got to be involved in the supply chain. And as much as everyone loves to talk about sales and the new products, at the end of the day, supply chain is all about profits. Pursue the certification. Companies like Walmart and Toyota focus on supply chain to make sure they're profitable. Supply chains are 73% more profitable when they're properly managed, and when they involve in supply management initiatives, they see a 40% ROI, return on their investment for those supply chain projects. Recent studies show that 15% of CEOs do not believe they could survive a supply chain disruption. Just imagine what recently happened with the pandemic. All the companies that were jumping through hoops trying to figure out where their stuff is going to come from. We in the military are already tuned in to crisis, right? We already understand high pressure environments. Now we're able to look at it from the supply chain perspective and apply our skills to a civilian business. Many of us might be involved directly working with civilians to facilitate a supply chain as they get ready to distribute the vaccine for COVID. What are they doing? They're relying on the military logistics to get that done. As logisticians, as anyone involved in the supply chain, we are going to be able to articulate what we need to get done. Just like in the art of war, Sun Tzu says the line up between order and disorder lies in logistics. 70% from the same survey, only 17% of CEOs surveyed thought their supply chain was optimized, which means making the most money as possible. Just Napoleon Bonaparte. Amateurs discuss tactics, professionals discuss logistics. And the supply chain will be the greatest source of stress in any company because it not only affects the ability to deliver for customers, but also its profitability and survivability in economic crisis. And supply chain is not a software issue. Many people say, well, I've got this great supply chain system like Oracle or SAP or PeopleSoft, some amazing ERP, and they just throw a bunch of money at software hoping that the software will fix their problems. The reality is people run the software and they see the data coming out of the software, and we need people to make judgments and make decisions because the software can't do that for us. We have to do that for us. Ultimately, procurement equals profit. We as military professionals have a unique experience to add to the supply chain function. We are expert planners. We know how to plan. We are driven by the mission. Failure is never an option. So we tend to focus on what the priorities are so we can deliver on that mission. We are able to focus flexibility. Knowing what the mission is, we can change and adjust to meet the needs of the organization. And we provide leadership, not just direct leadership in a crisis situation, but we provide confidence. We provide stability and calm during a crazy situation. And we add that. And supply chain can get pretty crazy sometimes when we're not meeting deadlines and we're not able to deliver as promised. We have to be flexible and get things done. But civilians just don't understand. Less people serve today than have ever served before. And as a result, less people are able to relate to the military service. Yes, we in the military, we know the sacrifices that we provide to our community and to our country. However, civilians see us on TV, but they don't know us personally. They don't know exactly what we do. And businesses fail to translate your experience into their value. That's what I experienced when I came out. I said, I'm a trained logistician. I have an education. I can do lots of different things. Went to a business and they wanted me to fit in this little bitty bubble. That's where they saw my value. And I was not able to actually articulate value. Instead, I had to have the certification to say, these are the things that I can do. When you get certification, you become a strategic advantage for your company. And you master the fundamentals through the certified professional in supply management training. You can transform your career because CPSM identifies the leaders. You'll find that not many folks have the CPSM credential. You become part of a cadre of CPSM qualified professionals. You'll master the 14 competencies of supply chain management and be able to create solutions based on proven supply chain concepts. Best practices. The CPSM was developed from companies that generated over $1 billion per year in annual revenue. Okay, so you are using their best practices and understand their best practices. In the military, we're able to then adapt industry best practices to military purposes. It's not always a direct translation. Okay, we're more proactive in the strategic planning. The CPSM gives you visibility from raw materials to customer delivery and everything in between. And because you understand the entire supply chain, you're better able to plan and focus that supply chain to achieve the mission. And you'll generate more profit. You'll be more accurate in your recommendations because you're using proven concepts to make those recommendations, produce more cost savings, which ultimately equals profit for a company. And we are innovative in our supply strategies because we have more tools in our buckets. In the military, we have certain processes we follow, and then we tend to adjust based on the situation. Same thing in the civilian world. You want to have certain tools, and the more tools you have, the more innovative you can be when you're delivering those solutions. Now, who qualifies for credential assistance? Anyone in the Army, active, reserve, or National Guard. The other services don't use credentialing assistance as of this moment. So this is unique for the Army. And if you have that background, you want to be able to get credentialing assistance. How do you do it? Go to the ArmyIgnitED website. Go ahead and log in. Once you get there, add a credential path. Fill in your personal information. Go and put in CPSM. Select the CPSM certification. Okay, then you'll see the vendors. You want to select Jack Quinn Solutions. But when you register, make sure you register 45 days from today. That's be the earliest that the Army will let you register. And then the end date is 1 year from the start. You'll have 1 year access to all the programs, the on-demand training, all the virtual training. We're going to be doing live training just like you're experiencing now. We actually teach live the concepts so you better understand them and can ask questions, which we're going to. Now, how do you get started? Just go to cpsmtraining.com. Send me an email. I'll be happy to work with you, sending you an exact proposal on exactly everything that's included in our program. I didn't know about this until I started to transition out. So by having this ability or capability or opportunity with the Army now, I could have done this earlier in my career. All right. And then used and practiced those civilian techniques in my military career, and then better be able to share with people what I can do in the military and translate that immediately into civilian experiences that they could relate to. Feel free to go to our website, supplychainmanagement.training. Lots of resources there that are available to you, as well as CPSM training, which is specific specifically for the certification, and supply chain management jobs, which is another resource which will tell you about employment opportunities in the supply chain management industry. All right. If you have any colleagues or friends that you want to bring together as a group, absolutely we can set that up as well.